Hey guys, it's Alex and Kip. We're back for another episode of Quarantine Rock Cutting. So I know you guys are excited to get to the rocks that we picked out from last week. It was kind of a blow away. The 3 rocks that won, they won by a long shot. So I'm excited to show you guys those. But first I wanted to show you a little cool rock hunting experience that my wife and I had over the weekend. So we were just out walking around by the river with Kip, and my wife looked down and she's like, hey, look, there's an agate. And she saw this behemoth right here. Really cool moss agate. Actually the biggest agate that she's ever found. So that was awesome. And then I looked over and I was like, what's this sticking out of the sand? Sure enough, another big piece of chalcedony with some very odd things going on. So that'll be fun to cut open. And then we looked around a little bit more and we found all of these within about 3 feet of each other. So just another agate right here. This really cool piece of jasper, yellow jasper with these beautiful red colors on the top. Just stunning. Another really nice little moss agate right here. You can see the moss right there. Just beautiful. And then these two really caught my eye. I saw this one sticking up just like that. But check out the bands on this thing. It's just stunning. And there's a little crystal pocket in there. Wow. I'm obsessed with this thing. I've looked at it so many times since I found it. And then this little blue piece of chalcedony with there's even some very subtle banding. I'm not sure if you can see it. Maybe. So that was awesome. But before we get to cutting those rocks, guys, remember that at the end of this video, there's going to be pictures of 12 more rocks. Those rocks are going to be numbered, and those are going to be the rocks that you guys can choose from to pick out the 3 rocks that we're going to cut for the next episode of Quarantine Rock Cutting. All you have to do is pick your top 3 rocks using the numbers that are attached to the photos. Put those numbers in a comment below this video, and that's how we'll choose the top 3 rocks. Those will be the ones that I cut. Don't forget that if you want to watch that video, if you're not already a subscriber, hit this little red subscribe button down at the bottom of the video, and that way you'll get notified when part 3 comes out. Alright, so the wait is over. Winning rocks were rock number 1, rock number 5, and rock number 8. So let's go over them in a little bit more detail here. So rock 1 is petrified wood with some really interesting chalcedony running through it. I'll be really curious to kind of cut this one through in a way that we try to preserve some of that agate material. This is a beautiful piece of agatized petrified wood, and I want to kind of cut it through so that we're running against some of the wood grain. We'll see how that turns out. And then this is a beautiful piece of jasper. So I think we're just gonna cut it straight down the middle and see how it turns out. So let's get to cutting. Alright guys, we finished cutting them. I realize now that most of that footage I recorded trying to cut the rocks was with my hands in the way, so we'll get that better next time. But we're gonna go ahead and get them polished. Okay, so it's time to polish these rocks up that we cut. I was just gonna give you guys a little bit of an overview of how I do this because I've had a few people ask me. But what I'm really thinking is I'll just kind of do a brief overview today. Sometime in the future I'm going to do a little bit more of a detailed video about exactly how I do this with some tips and tricks and some more detailed footage. So let's get into it. Basically I use this DeWalt, it's actually a polisher because it's got variable speeds, which is very helpful. You cannot use an angle grinder because it's generally spinning too fast for these polishing pads to work. And these polishing pads are, they're Velcro, so they stick onto the They stick right here onto the polisher, and they go from 50 grit all the way up to 3,000 grit. And I like to, that you can use them with the wet or dry rocks, but what I like to do is dip the rocks in while I'm polishing them. It helps to keep the dust down, and also I think decreases the wear and tear on the diamond discs over time. So basically all you do is you polish until you feel like you've got things pretty smooth and flat, then you move to the next one, next one, next one, until you're done. So I'll go ahead and show you a little bit of footage of me doing that right now, and then I'll show you these rocks. So here we are, gonna actually start polishing now. This is kind of my setup here. I keep a little bucket with some water. There's my polishing pads, there's the rocks we're working on, as well as some bonus ones right there. I've got the 50 grit right on now, that's what we start with. And I like to have the polisher set around, somewhere around 2,000 RPM. It seems like if you go too much faster than that, it's easy to kind of lose control of the rocks. So we're just gonna go ahead and get started with, I think, this piece of petrified wood. Okay, so we're finished with the 50 grit. Now we're gonna go up to the 100 grit. You wanna make sure you get these pads on nice and lined up. Press it on really good. Then you're good to go. Turned out a lot better this time. I'm still figuring out some strategies with polishing and cutting, but I think I'm starting to get a hang of it. Still figuring out the best ways to get little scratches like that out, but we'll get there. I do love the way this jasper looks. It's just beautiful. And this piece of petrified wood is probably my favorite. It's just got such an amazing shine on it. Like, check that out, that's amazing. But yeah, beautiful, just beautiful. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed checking out those rocks. It was certainly fun to cut them and polish them and see what was going inside. I feel like I'm getting a little bit better at all this, so hopefully as time goes on we'll get to see some progress. In the meantime, again, remember, at the end of this video we're going to show you 12 more rocks, and you can choose your top 3 for polishing and cutting in the next video. And if you don't want to miss that video, remember to subscribe to this channel. We're getting close to that 1,000 subscriber mark, so I'm really excited to keep seeing the channel growing, and I love it when you guys like the videos and comment. I love hearing from you, so keep that up and take care out there.